When I first started, a lot of early career advice I got was about, this is the next big thing, this is a hot topic. And that got my ears up, but as I started to learn and think about this, I saw how important it was. Really where my thinking's evolved to is we have to provide care and then get better about how we do that. And that just is from the obviousness of things that aren't done well to how do you start to think about ways to do that in a systemic way. And just learning about that and then trying to figure out how to teach that to others really was kind of the impetus for what got me interested in it. Now it's not even like a career path, it's just part of my career, and I think an expectation for anybody's career is that you have to have some skills with this, just like a skill with a physical exam or diagnostic reasoning. I think the lens, particularly as a clinician, is really just the systems view of looking at things, of just that anything that occurs at the crucible of taking care of patients is a combination of a lot of different systemic factors that you're just part of. And so that concept of teamwork and how you effectively use your teams and how you think about all these other things at play, it goes back to that natural view of how just to look at patient problems. Then on top of that, say something bad happens, that systems work is really important. Why did it occur? What individual factors were at play? What system factors are at play, and particularly their system factors, what can you do about that? How do you prevent that from happening again? Right. Same thing with administrative work. And I'll tell residents, I'll tell students, what separates the adults from the children is not identifying problems, but having a skill set and tenacity, which is what it takes to do something about that and be part of that process and understand what it takes. The power of a third-year clerk is to say, things are new, I don't understand why this is, and maybe with explanation, the current way of doing things makes sense, but there is a better way. Is there something to do about that? And that's where having that skill set of, what is a root cause analysis, plan, do, study, act cycle, and how to think about goals and objectives and how to write those clearly. If you have the tools, you can do this, just as like you're learning to do a physical exam or do diagnostic reasoning. It still holds, again, with almost all residency programs, certain things stand out with everybody, board scores, clerkship scores, et cetera, But, I have a resident who will come to my office and sit and tell me that this is a significant problem and that I need to do something about that. Now, if you imagine I have a program of 85 residents, if each one of them comes to me with that type of issue, there's not enough time in the day, let alone my career, to solve all of those problems. But if you come to me and say, we don't like this and we'd like to put together a solution, that is so much more powerful to me, and then it's easy for me to put my weight behind that. Perfect example is our group of residents have kind of redone what we call our Jeopardy system. Just basically, what do we do when somebody calls in sick? And I can create a plan. It may not be really helpful for what the residents need because I'm not a resident anymore. I'm not there in the day-to-day. But if I have 6 to 10 people coming with that plan and implementing it and making the case and monitoring for its effectiveness, a couple big things there. One, it's good for them. They've got something that worked for them. Two, they're establishing and practicing that skill set of how do you identify a problem, do something about it. And three is when you have a lot of people doing that, a lot more happens than just relying on one person.